Hello everyone. Today we will discuss one more topic that is from next unit, the 2 degree of freedom system. Okay, till now we have discussed with the 1 degree of freedom system. Okay, so now we will study about 2 degree of freedom system. So in 2 degree of freedom system we have two independent coordinates. As you can see, we have taken the case of a shaft which is mounted with two rotors. Okay, till now we have studied with one rotor only. Now there are two rotors and these two rotors can move independently. So let us suppose this rotor is moving angle theta 1 and this is angle theta 2. So we need two independent coordinates to define our system. So this is the 2 degree of freedom system. In the same way, if we mount one more rotor, that will become a 3 degree of freedom system and so on. So to define this system we need two equation of motion. Okay, so here we will get two equation of motion. In our previous case, which was having only one rotor, we equate the system with only one equation. So here we need two equations. Okay, and also the system we will get with two natural frequency, because it is 2 degree freedom system, so we will get two natural frequencies. Okay, the system with the lowest or the first natural frequency, the first or the lowest natural frequency is called the first mode, and so on. The next higher frequency will be called as second mode. Okay, if we will having one more rotor, we will get three frequencies, and the next higher frequency will be called as third mode, and so on. So we will try to derive the equations of motion for this system. So you can see, if we were having only one rotor, let us suppose, then the equation of motion was I theta double dot plus k theta equal to 0. Okay, where I the inertia and k is the stiffness of the shaft. Okay, so now we will derive equation of motion for this system. So here it is 2 degree of freedom system, so we will get two equation of motions. So this is our first equation of motion and this is second. So we will see how we are getting this equation. So let us suppose first we will write the equation of motion for this rotor, first rotor. Okay, here mass is m1, inertia I1, and theta 1 is the deflection. Okay, so if you can see this shaft here, it is fixed and here it is moving. So the equation we will get is I theta double dot, because it is fixed here, so we will get I theta double dot plus k, but now the net deflection in this region is, because it is rotating theta 1 and it is rotating theta 2, so the net deflection will be theta 1 minus theta 2 in this region. So for this rotor, the equation of motion will become I theta 1 double dot, because here in this region it is only theta 1 double dot, I theta 1 double dot plus k theta 1 minus theta 2 equal to 0. And the same we will write the equation for second rotor, that is I 2 theta 2 double dot, because here it is only theta 2, because in this part the deflection in the shaft will be only theta 2, but in this region it will be theta 2 minus theta 1, net of theta 2 minus theta 1, because it is rotating theta 1 and it is rotating theta 2, so the net deflection will be theta 2 minus theta 1. So for this, the equation will become I2 theta 2 double dot plus k stiffness of shaft theta 2 minus theta 1. So these are the two equations, and now we will try to solve this and we will get two natural frequency. And as I have already told you that first natural frequency, we will say it first mode, and the next higher frequency we will say it second mode. Okay, so now let us assume that our solution is theta 1 equal to a1 sin omega t, where a1 is amplitude, and similarly theta 2 is equal to a2 sin omega t, or theta 1 double dot becomes minus omega square theta 1 and theta 2 is equal to minus omega square theta 2. So now we will put the value of this theta 1, theta 2 and theta 1 double dot and theta 2 double dot here in equation 1 and 2, and we will solve the value of omega. So after putting the values, we are getting the equation minus omega square I1 A1 plus k A1 minus A2 equal to 0, and the second equation we are getting minus omega square I2 A2 plus k A2 minus A1 equal to 0, where A1 and A2 are the amplitudes according to theta 1 and theta 2. Okay, we are again just solve it, and we are getting, after solving this, minus omega square I1 plus k A1 minus k A2 equal to 0, and the other equation becomes minus k A1 plus minus omega square I2 plus k A2 equal to 0. So we can write it in form of matrix. Okay, so A1 A2 we can write it in matrix form this. So the solution of this equation will become, we will get by equating this, the determinant of this matrix equal to 0. So we can find out the determinant, this into this minus k square, so this into this minus k square equal to 0. So after again solving this equation, we are getting omega square common into omega square minus k I1 plus I2 divided by I1 I2 equal to 0. So we are getting two equation from here. The value of, we are getting 2 omega. One is omega square equal to 0, so that will get our first natural frequency, omega 1 becomes equal to 0, and other equation will be when this term becomes equal to 0. So by equating this term equal to 0, we are getting omega 2, that is equal to under root k I1 plus I2 divided by I1 I2. So these are the two natural frequencies, and accordingly this will be called as first mode, because it is the lowest frequency. It will called as first mode of system, and this will be the second mode of system. Okay, so now we will just put the value of omega 1 and omega 2 in the previous equations to solve the value of A1 and A2. Okay, so first we will put the value of omega 2 in the above equation. Here you can see we will put the value of omega 2 in this equation, and just by solving it we are getting the ratio of A1 by A2 equal to minus of I2 by I1. So this is the ratio of amplitudes for first mode, second mode, because we are putting omega 2 is equal to under root k I1 plus I2 divided by I1 I2. And similarly for omega 1, what was the value of omega 1? Omega 1 was equal to 0, so we put omega 1 equal to 0 here, omega 1 equal to 0, so we will get equation A1 by A2 equal to 1. These are the ratio of the amplitudes. Okay, so for first mode we are getting A1 by A2 equal to 1. For this is the second mode, A1 by A2 equal to minus of I2 by I1. So this is the graph we are getting. Okay, so you can see this is the shaft given. So here is the rotor I1, first rotor, this is the second rotor. So we will see for the first mode shape what we are getting. Okay, because for first mode our omega n equal to 0, omega n equal to 0, and A1 and A2, ratio of A1 by A2 what we are getting is equal to 1. So you can see this is A1 and A2. Okay, and for the second mode also we are getting omega n equal to under root k I1 plus I2 divided by I1 I2, and the ratio of A1 by A2 is equal to what? Minus of I2 upon I1. Okay, so you can see these are negative. So if A1 is negative, then A2 becomes automatically positive, and you can see in between there will be a point where omega becomes equal to, where the ratio of A1 and A2 becomes equal to 0. Okay, so this point is called as node point. And what is the importance of this node point? The node point is the section of the shaft where angular displacement is 0. Because this ratio A1 by A2 is 0, there will be no displacement, okay, at node point. So amplitude is 0, this is called at node point. Now you can see because amplitude deflection is 0 at this point, so there will be no vibrations at the node point. Now the importance of this node point is that you can we usually mount the bearings in the shaft at the node point only, because at node point there are no vibrations, and the life of bearings will increase because of this node point. Okay, so this was all about the torsional case. Tomorrow we will talk about two masses system. Okay, simply we will take two mass, 2 degree of freedom m1, and in same way this is m2. This we will talk tomorrow. Okay, thank you.